as I've mentioned before, we don't routinely shampoo our rats because rats are actually very good at keeping themselves clean. Very occasionally we've had a rescue rat who's been in a very dirty container and got quite mucky on the way over, and then we've had to shampoo them. But generally, don't believe all the stories of you must regularly bath your rats. You really don't have to. And also, if you provide them a little bowl of fresh cold washing water every day in their cage, they will use that to clean themselves. And as you know, we do water playtime every week as well, so the rats can actually get right into the water. If the rats are old and sick, then we use a bowl of water and some flannels, and we use tea towels to dry them, and we don't use shampoo unless we absolutely have to. Now this is for the reason that regularly shampooing your rats dries out their skin, and rats can have very sensitive skin. Unless your vet gives you some preparation and tells you that you should use this shampoo, then I would try and avoid shampooing your rats. I think that a lot of people use mite treatments as shampoos or sprays, and they're not effective and they're very harsh on the skin. The little drop-on lotions that you just put a couple of drops on the back are far easier to use, and they treat the whole rat, because the other sprays and shampoos you've got to keep them away from the head area, so obviously mites and things could be on the head, and then they may miss out from being treated. Now, I shouldn't really watch these videos on the internet, but I've seen some upsetting videos on people bathing rats this week, and the first thing I need to say to you is washing up liquid is not suitable for washing rats. It is only suitable for washing dishes. One, it is very harsh. Two, it contains chemicals which may be dangerous to your rats and antibacterial agents. And secondly, the most important thing is if your rat ingests washing up liquid, it is known to cause cancer in rats. So avoid washing up liquid, even if you are absolutely desperate. If you had no rat shampoo and you had a very messy rat, I think you would be better to use a tiny amount of baby shampoo. But I mean, I would be very cautious as well. It's far better to get small bottle of small animal shampoo. They're only a couple of pounds. Always keep one. It's handy for washing out equipment and cages. As a lot of you know, I actually use this for cleaning rat equipment rather than actually the rats, but we always have some just in case. Now the thing to look for is gentle, mild and non-irritating. And avoid any rat and ferret shampoo which contains pine, because as you know, the clue is quite often they're green, but as you know, pine is not good for rats, so we don't want them inhaling any pine aromas. Now that is the one I would actually use if I had to shampoo my rats. And I also have, which I'm going to show you today because it's coloured, this is an easy rinse one, which also says it's mild. For small animals, and I'm just going to show you how much shampoo with the pink one, so you can actually see it on the spoon. But what we would do, and probably the best place is somewhere like the bathroom floor. Actually in the bath it can be quite echoey and that can frighten some rats, but before we just go on to showing you what we do, there's a couple of other points I've got to mention. That never put neat shampoo onto a rat. I'm just going to show you how to dilute it. But the other thing that I saw a very upsetting video, it's not okay to put rats under running water. Now there will be the occasional rat that doesn't mind, but I have seen so many videos of very traumatized rats under running water. Now there's two reasons I don't agree with it. One is water pressure and water temperature can fluctuate. There could be the water could go too hot and burn your rat, it could go too cold and chill your rat, and that's not going to be very nice for them. Also, a lot of rats do not like the sound of the water splashing down the sink, coming out of the tap, and even more so, many are afraid of the water going down the plug hole. So if you have bowls of water in the bath, we would not empty the bowls of water until we've actually finished and taken the rat from the room, and then we'll come back and clean up. So just be sensitive to your rats, and try and keep, like everything else, try and keep shampoo time as pleasant as possible. So we have a collection of bowls. We actually have about 6 bowls. Now this is the smaller size that we would dilute the shampoo in, and this size we would only ever fill it halfway up because we don't want to get the shampoo on the rat's head and face. And that would be where we use water from the kettle when we do water play. That is because the rats may drink the water, but with shampooing, they're not going to drink the water. They want to get out there as soon as possible, so we just use some lukewarm water from the tap, so it is just comfortably warm. You don't want to stress the rat and chill them or overheat them. But we would get a row of bowls. Now with the rinsing bowls, we have the bigger bowls, and we would fill them as well about halfway, so the rats aren't going to be too scared. But we would have several bowls. If you're short of bowls, have jugs of water, and you can very gently pour the water into down the rat's back if you do it very, very gently, so it doesn't make a noise and it's not sudden. But it's best to just get half a dozen of these bowls and have sort of 4 or 5 with fresh clean water. If there's 2 of you, it's much easier because one of you can hold the rat and the other one can actually move the bowl out of the way and put the clean water bowl in. But anyway, what we would do, we would have, if you can see that pink shampoo, this is quite a big teaspoon, but an average size, it should be average size really, but it looks big. So round about a teaspoonful of the shampoo. We prepare this before we get the rats out, and we'll see we just dissolve that in the water. Then we would very gently, nice bubbles there, so plenty to clean your rat with. We would just very gently lower the rat in and put the water, so that's the rat's back, over the rat's back. So we're holding with one hand, and with the other hand we're just sort of getting them in the water. They're going to scratch you, they're going to scrabble, but you don't need them to be in there too long. And then you'll move them onto the next bowl with the clean water, and the same sort of get the water over their back and get them thoroughly rinsed. That's very important. Now when you've finished washing, have a big pile of tea towels. I find they work better than thick towels, and they're quite cheap. You can buy big packs of them for just a few pounds. But we'd have several for each rat. We'll wrap the towel straight away after coming out of the rinse water. We will wrap the rat into a towel, and make sure your room is warm and no drafts. Make sure there's no windows or doors or anything open. But you wrap them in these towels and get off the worst of the water. Then we'd get them into another dry towel, and that will remove the most of the water again. Rats will probably have a little shake, and they will start immediately to clean themselves and wash themselves. Even though they've had a bath, they want to get rid of the shampoo smell. And we wouldn't let them run about on the floor afterwards. We'd put them into a clean house with lots of paper bedding, and you'll find they dry very quickly and they're all soft and fluffy. So that's basically how we would shampoo. Now, unless, as I've said, unless the vet gives you a particular shampoo or lotion, if you have a rat with dry skin, the worst thing is probably shampooing them. We would use the Dermagel, and I know quite a few people will get a flannel, some warm water on a flannel, bit of olive oil, and just rub that into the rat, into any dry patches on their back with olive oil. So there are nicer ways than dunking your rats in water. Just try and think, you know, is this really necessary? So basically they don't need regular baths. You also do not need to shampoo your rats before you do rat introductions. This is where the vanilla essence or the lavender comes in really handy. Please never use washing up liquid. Don't use baby shampoo unless you have to. Just spend a couple of pounds and get a very mild, gentle, small animal shampoo that doesn't contain any pine. And just remember that rats, you know, the noise of running water and water splashing in the bath and down the plug hole can be quite upsetting, and please don't put them under running water. Now the little rat that I saw, the poos were just dropping out of him. He was terrified, and I just think it's totally unnecessary to stress your rat like that, because as you know now, stress in a rat is one of the biggest causes of illness. So just be kind to your rats.